Professor Wale Sulaiman, an accomplished neurosurgeon, researcher, executive, and leader. As a successful entrepreneur and philanthropist, he is the CEO and chairman of RNZ Global Limited, president of RNZ Foundation, co-founder and chief medical officer, Hippo Technologies USA. Wale Sulaiman is an indigene of Ajashekpo, Kwara State, Nigeria. After completing his secondary education at the famous St. Gregory's College, Obalinde, Lagos State, Nigeria, his parents could not afford his university education, but at 19, he received a scholarship to study medicine at the Medical University, Varna, Bulgaria, through the Bureau for External Aid, a Nigerian government program that offers scholarship to exceptional Nigerian students to study abroad. Wale Sulaiman completed his medical degree at Medical University, Varna, Bulgaria, during which he also completed an MSc degree. His interest in neuroscience earned him a postgraduate scholarship in Canada to complete a PhD in neuroscience at the University of Alberta, Canada, where he performed excellently and gained admission to specialize in neurosurgery at the University of Manitoba, Winnipeg, Canada. He became board certified in neurosurgery by the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Canada. He rose quickly through the ranks to become a professor of clinical neurosurgery at Tulane University, the system chairman of neurosurgery, and co-medical director of the Neuroscience Institute at Oshna Health Systems. Wale Sulaiman is married to his lovely wife Patricia, and they are blessed with 3 lovely children. On the 11th of October 2022, Professor Wale Sulaiman was conferred as Commander of the Order of the Niger (CON) by President Muhammadu Buhari.
My full name is Olawale Adeniyi Abdulrafiu Sulaiman, even though most people know me as Professor Wale Sulaiman CON or PWS. It's interesting, as I mentioned my name, when people say Professor Wale Sulaiman, they will put MD, PhD, FRCSC, CON. But I'm just a kid from Ajashekpo in the Iwepo local government, Kwara South, Kwara State. I'm a proud Kwaran, I'm a proud Nigerian, and I love my community, I love my people, and it's been a journey to get to where I am in my life right now. We live in a region where people get sick and they stay at home. And sometimes, unfortunately, they die from sickness because they can't afford to pay 1,000 naira. We live in a region where children are sent home. We hear it every week, 60, 50, sometimes 100 children sent home because they can't afford 5,000 naira to pay tuition fees. We live in a region where people still die from poor, filthy water. They get diarrhea, they start having bowel movements, and they die from dehydration. We live in a region where skilled, talented children like myself, when I was a kid, if I didn't get any scholarship, you wouldn't know what would have become of me. But our people are very brilliant. We have children that are very brilliant, that are working extremely hard. If you look at my office, all these kids, I just met them, and they're very talented kids. And when you put them to task, they work hard and they can deliver. We're talented kids, because they happen to not be children of commissioners or ministers or people in position of power. They don't have access to all these good things. In America, one of the most brilliant things about America is a land of opportunity for the rich and the poor. And that's how you should judge any nation. So we have done medical outreaches. This is not a gimmick. People are suffering. People are dying from things they shouldn't die from. And we say we have government, we have leaders that are representing us. It's not good enough. The medical outreaches we're doing, some people, they have been sick for a long time, and now because they can now go, they don't know what was wrong with them, they can now go and get free medical checkup, they can get a blood pressure check, they can get a blood sugar check, they will discover something and they get treated, they get medications. And we have a way to make sure the continuity of care is there. So we, like I said, imagine almost 4,000 people. These are 4,000 people, some of them could have stayed home and not get medical care. 4,000 people, free medical care. These people need help. This is about helping people because that's what God expects us to do. That's what we are responsible to do for our people. Some people have to walk kilometers to get just a bucket of water. And we have sunk many boreholes to be able to give them access to water. For over 5,000 people. Over 5,000 people. You know, when you don't empower people, we're not doing empowerment that is enslavement. We're not telling people to come and collect 2,000 naira, 5,000, and then come back the next day. We're providing them with tools to be able to help themselves. Look at the POS that we did. We gave people POS, but we said, okay, they may just go and keep it at home. We gave them money to get started. That's the mini bank. And these people now, they will start making money. They can now begin to help their parents to pay for medical bills. They can now begin to help their siblings. So we need to empower or teach our people how to fish and not just give them fish. More people need to do this. Whether you are in political position or not, that's my question to all our people that are now running for office. If you've had the opportunity to be in a political office, and you've had the opportunity to be even in a chairmanship position in political office, what have you used your position to do for our people? And when you have left, or before you get into political office, what have you done for our people? These problems have been in existence for over 30 years. Why haven't we been able to make a dent in it? Why haven't we been able to make a dent in it? Now they have disappeared for some time. They are back now. All of a sudden, these problems are feasible to them. We have been handling and tackling these problems for decades. People that know my record know it. RNZ Foundation, like I said, we've supported over medical outreaches that has helped over 50,000 people. Now we're doing 4,000 in Kwara South. Let people come up with what they have done. That's what politics is about. Politics is about community service. Somebody asked me about why am I transitioning from medicine to politics. I said, look, I think both of them are the same. I said I struggled with that. But the key point is that as a neurosurgeon, I can only do one surgery at a time. I can only put one patient to sleep. I can only do one spine or brain surgery at a time. But as a politician, if my people believe that I'm the one to represent them, and I will become victorious on February 25th, I can use my network and my skills and expertise to make sure that we can help thousands, if not millions of people through policies, through advocacy, and bring in dividend of democracy to them. One of the most important credentials that any politician should have, besides the book and the knowledge and all this, is you have to have a good heart. If you look at President Barack Obama was a community organizer. He cared about what affected people in Chicago, and he organized them and got some help for them. He became a senator, within 2 years became the president of the United States. So one most important thing, you must care, you must love the people, you must be willing to be amongst your people, and the fear of God is important. So for me, I think because I understand what it means to struggle through life to make it. I understand what it means for those children that are roaming the streets. If you go to Adanla, if you go to Ajashekpo, I was one of those kids that will run around without, barefooted, not knowing what was going to happen to us next. I understand the struggle. I understand the issues. Before I decided to go on into this political journey, I actually commissioned a consultancy firm to go across Kwara South to see where the gap, to do a gap analysis, to see what the issues were. And that is exactly what dictated the 6 priority areas that we chose to face in Kwara South. And if we did those 6 things, Kwara South would become one of the best places to live in Nigeria. So number one, I think no matter what we do, the most important thing we can do for our people is to create jobs. I think jobs is probably the most important, one of the most important things we can do for our people. I have done that. So you saw what I did in America. I've started 6 companies in this country that are doing very well. I recruited a lot of people because I know how to identify talents. I know how to put a team together that can get things done. And I have a lot of network both in Nigeria and internationally to get it done. So we have a way to bring jobs related to agriculture, provide 21st century jobs. So agriculture is important, IT. We need to be able to bring companies to Kwara South that can employ our people. Universities, academic institutions is very important, and so on and so forth. When people invest in the infrastructure, it's actually a job provision. So jobs is number one. Jobs, we need to create jobs. Number two, to destroy a nation, destroy the educational system. So we need to invest in education. I am one of those Awolowo believers that we can still provide free primary and secondary school education in Nigeria. It's not that expensive. Imagine, we've done some studies. Well, we know if we wanted to provide free education for Kwara Southerners, indigent population that can't afford it, it shouldn't cost us more than 200 million a year. Imagine that in Nigeria, where we're well blessed. So I think free education, I would work day and night and raise funds as much as I can to make sure our kids are not left behind. Out of school children needs to be reduced. So free education is the most critical one. Education, primary, secondary, but then in our tertiary institution, we need to train our children for 21st century jobs, like I described. The next one is healthcare. This is my field. I think most important there is we need to make sure we have good penetration of health insurance. The fourth one is security. One of the primary responsibilities of any government is security of life and properties. You can see what's going on in our country. The fifth one is we have a very rich culture in Kwara. We have one of the tallest and tourist attractions, one of the tallest waterfalls in West Africa. What are we doing with that? That's a job opportunity for our people. We need to promote our culture and heritage and continue to push to attract people to want to visit our place. But we must tackle security and make sure we provide the ease of doing business must be adequate. And the sixth one is how do we take care of the most vulnerable members of our population? The physically challenged, the widows. You can see what we just did for the widows. I just launched PWS Widows Foundation, where we endowed each local government with 500,000 naira to be able to get them started. And we'll continue to do more. We'll raise money to be able to help those people. They're vulnerable. We must care for ourselves. One of the problems with this country is that we don't care for ourselves enough. We don't love ourselves. We have become very selfish. And that's not good enough. If we tackle those 6 areas, I can bet you, and I promise my people of Kwara South, they're very smart people. They can differentiate between fake and real. They know me. My track record speaks for itself. Let's not be cheated. Let's not be fooled. We have given some people the opportunity to prove themselves. They have done nothing. Instead, they have served their godfathers. We have given some people the opportunity to lead us in the last few years. They have not brought dividend of democracy to our people. So let's do the right thing. And this is me, your son, saying that I want to go and fight for you. We need to end the suffering. We need to end malrepresentation, and we need to make sure that our people get what belongs to them from Abuja and bring it home to support our people. Be my brothers and sisters in Igbomina, Ekiti, and Ibolon. I know your sufferings. I know the issues that pinch you. I know that you have endured for so many years. But on the 25th of February, we have a choice to make. The decision we make on the 25th of February will determine what happens to Kwara South in the next 20, 30 years. The first choice is do we want to go back to the enslavement where we're enslaved, to the slavery period of pre-Otoge. I know you don't want to do that. I know you don't want to be dictated to anymore. You want to determine your own future. The second choice is do we want to continue the same that has been happening in the last 4 years? And the third choice is me. And it's not me, it's us. I want to implore you to support me and join me in this journey to begin the transformation of Kwara South so that our children will get jobs, our people can have access to healthcare, and we can define our own future without being subservient to anybody.